There we go. I am live on YouTube now. And then let me change some of the invite settings, you guys. What is your opinion on the saffron gummies? Okay, saffron gummies. There's actually some evidence there from what I'm reading. It's limited still, and I don't think it's specific to autism. But I think saffron can be a good supplement that can help brain health. Not a treatment for autism, but this is what we're talking about today. If you wanna come in, if you wanna have a discussion about autism, about vaccines, about detox, you are in the right place. I'm a little bit fiery tonight, and so you join my lives in the morning if you want the calm support group. Join my streams at night if you want a little bit more fiery discussions here on some of these other topics. So. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you're an autism parent. If you disagree, we can have some conversations. I'm really curious how people think. 12, you say you're on the spectrum and you're up late at 11:30. You must be Eastern time then. It's only 9:30 where I'm at, and we are just barely getting our kids to bed. It's Friday night, and so it's a little bit late. I'm feeling kind of crazy. So we are having discussions about autism. We're just barely getting started. We'll see if we get people in. It's kind of late. My followers, here's the thing is my followers, I have a lot of followers. We get a couple hundred people going on these lives. But here's the thing is a lot of the followers have already got their kids to bed. It's midnight a lot of places where they live, and they're sleeping right now. But if we have other people that are coming in and you are wondering about autism, you want to learn about autism, or you want to discuss vaccines specifically as it relates to autism and detoxing, okay? That is what we are wanting to talk about today. Anyone here ever tried to detox their child with autism? Let's talk about it. Again, I am friendly. I'm not going to make people feel dumb. I don't insult people. But we do have some conversations here. Let's see. I need to change some settings here. Okay. There we go. You should be able to see the request box now if people want to come in and have a discussion about autism, about vaccines specifically, and about detox. That is what we want to talk about. And again, if you're a typical follower of mine, you should know that late at night, I might get a little bit fiery. This is a little bit more of not so much the comforting support group as much as meaningful discussion on some harmful topics and rhetoric around our community. Jackie, let me tell you what happened. So detox, as it relates to autism, is a common treatment that people recommend for autism. And when I say people, it's usually people selling you supplements and detox supplements. And the theory behind this is that the body containing heavy metals affects the development of the brain, causing autism, and you can detox from these heavy metals, thus detoxing from autism. Let's see. Do you believe it's a gene? Because I agree, it's not vaccines. Nana, you are spot on. I actually have some references in my bio if you want to go check it out. It is absolutely genetics, and there are definitely environmental factors, but one of those environmental factors is not vaccines, and it's not requiring you to detox from it. And so if you disagree, if you want to discuss, you guys can come up and discuss. I'm a nice guy, and so if you have opinions that are different from me, please come up and let's talk about it. I am so ready to discuss this if anyone wants to talk with me about it. Heavy metal toxicity, and what we're referring to with that, Ange, is that is like lead poisoning can cause like brain damage and things like that. Absolutely. But we're not talking about slightly elevated metrics that some neuropathic or what do they call them? The natural doctors try to sell you, or the TikTok influencers. Catherine said after her vaccine, she went silent. She never spoke again. Catherine, Look, you know what? I want to make sure that I'm talking about this in such a delicate way, because I had a similar experience with my daughter. The regression is real, and it happens around the same time that kids get vaccinations. But that is a an anecdote that people experience because they both happen around the same time frame of a child's life. This is well established. This is not up for debate. Vaccines cause autism just as much as eating ice cream causes autism. Vaccines cause autism just as much as drinking water causes autism. Vaccines cause autism just as much as clapping your hands causes autism. And I say that because a lot of people say, well, we can't know because we haven't done an infinite amount of studies to prove it. We have done a lot of studies. This has been rigorously tested and addressed. And time again, when you look at it broadly, wide scale, there is no even correlation between autism and vaccines. What do I do for work? Well, that's a good question. So I am a board certified behavior analyst. I am a father of 4 kids, 2 of which have autism. And I have worked with people with autism since 2013, and I'm the CEO of a company in Utah that provides services to people for disabilities. Usually I come on here because I need a village, because I like to talk about the hard things that us parents go through. And that is something I'm still going to talk about. But sometimes I get on late at night and I get a little fiery talking about some things that may be controversial to some. So this is what I like to do. And sometimes we have conversations. You must be rich. I wish. I'm the CEO of a company that serves people with autism, and it's my company. It's been around for a few years, but I give everything back. I give everything back. I don't even have the highest salary in the company just because I want to keep my employees happy. So I pay my people well. I live in a modest house, and I love on my kids with autism. So. Yeah, Brody, developmental services don't make the big bucks. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Oh, Nan, I didn't see your question. Let me look. As his parent, should I be tested for autism? You don't have to. If you don't see symptoms of autism, you don't have to. Okay. What do I think about stem cell therapy? That's a good question. Maybe I should add that on here too. It's not FDA approved. You can't get it in the United States unless you're part of a clinical trial, and it's still emerging science. The results have been mixed. There's strong theory behind it. It is expensive, typically costing $15,000 to $20,000. It's not something I recommend for families to do. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so what causes autism? That's a good question, JC. Do you think it's vaccines? If you think it's vaccines, you can come up. I'd love to talk about it. Even if you don't have a strong opinion, I'd love to talk to people who disagree, even if it's just because you haven't looked into it much. This is a conversation. I think people like to hear different viewpoints. So if people are unsure, if they want to learn, or if you strongly believe that vaccines cause autism, please request up. Let's have a conversation about this. I'm kind. I'm polite. I mean, my real name is attached to this. I'm not someone that's going to go and try to ruin people's lives or be mean to people. This is a kind, supportive environment, but it is one that we do stick to evidence. This is not a political platform, but this is one that we do look at evidence and talk about where the science is at with things. Okay. Does that mean that my son's father and I both carry autism, or just one of us? That's a good question. So when it's genetic, it's not always hereditary, and it can be caused by gene mutations, not necessarily that you had the gene. And so like genetic and hereditary aren't always the exact same thing. But we do know it's 80 to 90% genetic. We know this from twin studies that I can get into at some point. EJ says, you're doing great work, man. Make sure to take care of yourself too. We appreciate you. Yeah, I'm doing my best, you guys. This is me taking care of myself. It was either this or go watch a Netflix show, and I don't have anything good on. My wife and I were watching Love is Blind. That's always a good one. But we kind of got bored, and I think we kind of stopped watching it. And so we don't have a show right now. I might need some show recommendations. So I decided to come on here from the mom or dad's gene. It could be from either. It's called polygenic. And so it's not just one cause, you guys. It's not just one gene. It's not just from the father, not just from the mother. It's polygenic. And typically, there's hundreds of genes that are associated with the development of the brain. But we are talking about brain development in utero or immediately during or like immediately after birth. This is not something that develops, a year into life or a year and a half. Why is the rate going higher every year? People say we have a epidemic of autism, right? Have you guys heard that? An epidemic of autism. That's fear-mongering. What's happening is in 2013, diagnostic criteria broadened, meaning it used to just be very profound cases were diagnosed with autism. Now, the spectrum is very broad. As supports increase for it, that means that the rate of diagnosing increases. And so we have more cases diagnosed, but there is no evidence to suggest that we have more actual cases of autism. There's no evidence of that. Hey, you guys, if you disagree with me, if you think vaccines cause autism, if you are a strong believer of detoxing your child to get rid of the autism, you request up if you have different opinions than me. I'd love to have a good, meaningful conversation. I'd love it to be productive. I'm a kind person. I'm an understanding person. We don't name call or anything. It's just a good learning place that we can all learn together. So if you have questions, go ahead and request up. Let's see here. I'll keep looking at these comments. You guys have some good thoughts here. Let's see. So what's the cure? Please help me. Brazil, there's no cure, and it's not something that needs to be cured. Curing refers to it as a disease instead of the way that you're developed. Think of it like this. Do you talk about okay, if you're curing autism, what you're saying is, okay, they're learning to communicate, they're learning to socialize. Now, imagine saying that about your infant. Imagine saying, oh man, my infant needs to be cured. We need to cure him from infancy. That's not the way this works. That's the wrong way of talking about autism. It's not about curing. It's about supporting. It's about growth. It's about skill development. Okay. Why does the U.S. have the highest rates? That's a good question. I actually need to go and do a good study on the highest rates. One thing I would want to look at, and I don't have data, so I can't say this is it, but I would want to look at data of services available compared to the diagnosis rates. Because I think when there are services available, there's motivation to get a diagnosis. If there were no services available, why would you bother to get a diagnosis for your child? I got a diagnosis for my 2 kids because I wanted them to start ABA therapy. I wanted them to be able to have access to speech therapy, occupational therapy, IEPs at school. And so that's why I pursued a diagnosis. And the United States is one of the only countries that broadly puts out ABA therapy for kids with autism. Okay, guys, let's keep talking. If you have strong beliefs on vaccines, if you have strong beliefs on detoxing, please let me know. Also, gut health. That's another one that we hear quite often is the gut health and autism. If you have beliefs that gut health is what causes autism, please come on up. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's have a discussion. Okay. ABA, Kim. It's Applied Behavior Analysis Therapy. Have I dealt with feeding issues? My son's in food therapy recently. It's Ashley. That's a great question. Absolutely. You got to find a really good food therapist. Is yours an occupational therapist, speech therapist, or ABA therapist? Usually it's one of those 3. Just curious. Leucovorin, does it work? Or leucovorin, it does work. I read that wrong. Spencer Moore, that is truth. I'll talk about leucovorin here in a second. I want to address Spencer's question. So you can say for certain it doesn't cause it. I can say vaccines don't cause autism just as strongly, or I should say more strongly, than I can say ice cream doesn't cause autism. Then I can say cell phones don't cause autism. That I can say tissues don't cause autism, right? We know those things don't cause autism. How many research studies do we need to say that before we agree that they don't cause autism? But for some reason, we're so set on vaccines that hundreds of studies are not sufficient to demonstrate that they don't cause autism. How many studies do we need where there is no correlation between autism and vaccines? We're talking about millions and millions and millions of children studied through various vaccine schedules. This is not a big pharma conspiracy, you guys. So yes, I can say, like, obviously you cannot rule everything out. You cannot say with 100% certainty about anything in the world of science. But that doesn't mean there's a legitimate possibility of it. Like there is not. There is not. Never enough, because people won't admit they were wrong about something. It's never enough. It doesn't matter how many studies there are still people with that strong belief. Oh, Nana, I can't see your full comment. Let me see if I can find it, because that seemed, let's see. Oh, sorry. You can put it in again, but I can't see the full comment there. All right, you guys. If you think vaccines cause autism, or if you feel like detoxing from heavy metals and detoxing treatments and supplements are effective for autism, or you have questions about this, please request up. I'd love to talk to people about this. So why does it seem to be more common now versus before? That's a good question. More awareness, broader diagnosing criteria, and more services available, making people want to get diagnosed. There is no evidence. Hi, Crystal. There's no evidence that the actual rates of autism, not just diagnosed rates, but the actual rates are increasing. If they are, we would know if it was substantial, we'd know. And we're not seeing that there's a substantial increase. But we don't know. There's just not enough data, because the criteria for what autism was changed 13 years ago. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's more people diagnosed with autism today than 13 years ago, because the diagnosis didn't exist like it does today more than 13 years ago. All right, for those just coming in, let me tell you a little bit about this stream. During the day, I usually go live for 2 hours every day, and we talk about autism. It's more for autism parents and a support group, and we talk through challenges that we have. We talk through how hard it is to be autism parents. We talk about some of this stuff too, but it's a lot more of support. I got on tonight feeling a little bit fiery tonight, wanting to talk, wanting to talk to people who might disagree, and wanting to see if we can make some sense of this. And I would love some understanding. Like, honestly, I want some genuine understanding of, like, why do people really believe vaccines cause autism? And I can say that as a parent who had a 14-month-old daughter who had vaccinations and then she regressed. And I believe 0% that it was caused by autism, or that autism was caused by vaccines, just because of the studies that we can look at. Is it that crazy of an idea to put yourself in this perspective of, like, maybe my experience was not reflective of what happens at the population level? Maybe it was just an anecdote. Spencer Moore, read the studies from China. Teach me, Spencer. Teach me. What do the studies in China tell us? What do the studies in China teach me? We can fact check it together. I'll hop on to site.io or .ai. What is it called? I got a source here. We can do some research. What's the study called? I'll look it up. I'd love to look it up. Oh, Spencer, so they don't say it causes it? There has been zero. I have never seen a single published article that has demonstrated any link, any meaningful link between autism and vaccinations. It's settled in the sense, yeah, that it's been shown over and over and over again. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here. For those of you that are followers, this is a different kind of live. I'm being a little bit fiery tonight, and if people, I don't think there's a single person in this room that believes that vaccines cause autism, and that's amazing. What this is telling me is it is not widely believed, that there are a few like people that believe this that are spreading misinformation, and that they are loud. And it is not like out of a room of almost 200 people, there's not a single person that believes it. So that's really good. I mean, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. And we'll keep talking. But if people disagree, I'd love to talk about it. I'd love to talk to you. And yeah. Does vacuuming at birth have any correlation with autism? I've never read any association on it, and I've read, so if there has been, it hasn't been a meaningful, significant correlation. Emmanuel, your son was just diagnosed? Oh my gosh. Okay. Here's the big thing. When people say vaccines cause autism, and they have all these thoughts of what causes autism, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it is because the blame gets put on us parents, and specifically mothers. If you're a mother of a child with autism, there's a really good chance that at some point in this journey, you have felt guilty for your child's diagnosis. You do not deserve to feel that way. You deserve certainty that you did not cause this. It was not your parenting. It was not your discipline. It was not your screen time. It was not you loving your child enough to vaccinate them. It was not those things. Detox can remove parasites. Yeah, if you have parasites. But your body naturally detoxes. You do not need to be on a typical regimen of detoxing specifically to address autism. Father isn't involved. I'm sure he feels I'm to blame. It's Ashley, that breaks my heart. No man should blame their partner, their children's mother for their child's autism. Do not feel that blame. If he feels that, shame on him. But you do not get to carry that. It's Ashley, okay? You don't get to carry that. What can I say about leucovorin? Oh, I have a lot. Mama Crow, detox and zeolite. Come on up. Tell me about it. I'd love to learn. I'd love to learn from you. I'm kind, okay? I am kind. This is a judgment-free zone, but I do stick to the science, and so if you have some personal experience, you can share it. But then I'm gonna cite some studies and talk about the detox treatment as a whole. So if you want to come up, please do. I just sent you an invite, but from the pattern here, anyone who thinks it doesn't seem to have any info to be able to back it up. And I'd really love to talk to you about it. Chelly, tell us what you saw. Let's, Chelly, I just sent you an invite. If you want to come tell your story about vaccines and you're feeling like your child changed after getting vaccinations, feel free to come up. I'd love to hear it. Love to hear it. We're not here I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm going to hear you out, and then I'm going to kind of explain things how I see it, and you'll be welcome to respond as well. And I feel like I'm uniquely able to do this because I have a daughter who's regressed. Okay. I have a daughter who's regressed, and blaming vaccines for that regression, it not only is wrong, factually wrong, and 0% backed by evidence, but it also puts the blame on you as a parent, and you deserve to not hold that, okay? Does detox work? No. I mean, in the sense, okay, in the literature, they do talk about detox. Do you know what they talk about with detox in the literature? Detox in the literature, peer-reviewed journals, is talking about getting away from drugs and detoxing from drugs. Nothing about autism. Well, there's a lot about autism, but none of it is found to be effective. Amy, no, I have not seen Mama Boys today. I'm doing kind of some weird stuff. If she was on here though, I definitely want an update. But I'm going kind of crazy tonight. I'm trying to get some people up here who disagree with me to have some meaningful conversations, and I haven't had any luck. There's not. I've invited several people. There have been a couple people in the chat, but hey, you know what? I'll keep talking, and I understand that, you know, if you feel like your feelings are valid. The regression is so hard. If you are a parent, I feel uniquely qualified though to talk about this because of how close I am to autism, having my daughter regress, and I could easily blame it on vaccinations based on my anecdotal experience. But I understand that development is not linear, and I understand that here's one good way that we know. Yeah, Lexi, I'm kind of looking. I haven't used the word debate, okay, because I don't want it to sound scary. I definitely want to hear people out though, and I want to learn, and I want to teach and discuss and look at research together. We're gonna be respectful, and I mean, if you want to call it a debate, you can, but it's not gonna be like that. It's not your typical name calling kind of rage baiting debate. More of like, hey, you know what? This is a real thing that people believe. It is. Here's why I think it's important to talk about. Vaccines causing autism has impacted the current administration's decision on how they're administering the vaccination schedule. This is an important topic. And I feel like if people widely believe this, it shouldn't be so hard to get a couple people who know what they're talking about to come up here. Why is it so hard? Am I crashing out, you guys? Maybe I'm crashing out. All right. What do you think about Mood Spring saffron gummies? Well, there's some promising emerging studies coming out about saffron and brain functioning, but it's not unique to autism. I tried looking the other day for studies about saffron and ASD, and I don't have any. Typically, people are gonna promote it because they're selling it to you. And one thing you should know about me is I am extremely protective of autism parents. The autism parents in my life, I am extremely protective of you. I'm protective of your time. I'm protective of your money and your resources and your energy and your effort, because we don't have much. We don't have much time because of all the time we spend taking care of our kids. We don't have much money because we spend it all on therapies that are needed for our children. And when more and more people market to our guilt, to our fears, and guilt us into spending money on a regular basis for these supplements, it does harm to us. So yes, I'm protective. So I'm a little bit passionate about this, you guys. Okay. Yeah, Brittany, I mean, the saffron stuff, I don't know. I'm not going to do it right now. If there's more research and tied to ASD, and there's some stuff, there's so many supplements I could take for myself, and I don't. And I should. They're probably healthy. But specifically, I want to talk about supplements that are supposed to address autism symptoms. And saffron, like the benefits there are for everybody. It's not just autism related. And any of the promises regarding autism or autism-specific symptoms are just there to feed into your fears as an autism mom. Vitamins are good for us, not medication. Yeah, I mean, having the right balance of vitamins in our body is important. And that's for everybody, not just autism. And so, yeah, I mean, when you talk about supplements and stuff that are vitamins, that's fine. And other supplements that doctors may recommend, that's fine. But there is not a single supplement on the market today that the moment your son or daughter gets a diagnosis of autism, that should be recommended that you take. Hear that again. There's not a single supplement or diet that as soon as you find out your child has autism, that automatically means that your child needs it. Okay? Please be careful about some of this marketing that happens towards you. Yeah, the autism meds are so confusing to me. What medication is going to adjust genes? Yeah. Magnesium, B12. See, all of these are They can be good vitamins, okay? They can be good supplements, and your child might need them, but it's not simply because they have a diagnosis of autism that they need it, okay? That's what you need to make sure that you know. Let's see. They're never going to find a cure. I use that term loosely because it's not a disease. Thank you. Thank you. Is it Mr. Saab or Mrs. Ob? I don't know. One of those. But I agree with you. Let's see. What other questions do we have, you guys? What do I think of stem cells? Well, I think that they're extremely expensive. I think they're not FDA approved. I think that they cost $15,000 to $20,000, and I think that there's mixed evidence. But I think there's good theory behind it. There's good theory, mixed results, not FDA approved. You have to go out of the country. You have to spend a lot of money. I don't recommend people do it unless you're being part of a clinical trial and you don't have to pay for it. Let's see. K-Blitz, you're saying I'm wrong. Come on up. Tell me about it. Tell me about all the supplements that we need if you want to. But make sure that you recognize that there is no supplement that just because your child has autism that automatically means that you need it. And I'd love to see if you have some of these claims. I'd love to see like where this information is coming from. I think I'm not saying these are bad. Like your kid might need some vitamins, okay? But it should be case by case basis on what your pediatrician recommends. Not these, I want to de-influence TikTok with autism supplements, you guys. That's my mission. People who say your kid has autism, thus they need X, Y, and Z, that's bogus. Okay? And we see it way too often. What does autism look like in adults? How would I know? Well, a lot of it is reflecting back on childhood, asking if there's any videos of you as a infant, as a toddler. Again, 13 years ago, autism was only diagnosed if it was a profound, or some people were diagnosed with Asperger's, but it wasn't very common. Yes, spend the money on therapies, not supplements. There are real things that can help people with autism grow and develop. And again, we can talk all day about general health and wellness, but just know that autism isn't, the reason that you need those supplements. Any kids, any adult, any person, we should be focused on health. I love it. I need to do more of that, to be honest. Like I need to eat cleaner food. I need to eat out less. I need to exercise more. These are all really good things. But it's for all of us. It's not autism specific. So, autism symptoms in adults, though, that you were asking, look back at your childhood is one of the biggest things. But also there's online screeners that you can take, and there's a lot of adults with autism with profound autism, and they need support 24/7 living in group homes. And, if that's not you, but you just feel like maybe you fit that profile, avoid using the term autistic or autism until you have that official diagnosis, because it's definitely not something you get to self-proclaim. It's something that has clear diagnostic criteria. Let's see. K-Blitz. Let's look it up. Let's research that. We got a claim. I'm wrong. K-Blitz, come. It's not letting me invite you, but you can come request. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think that's true. I don't think that. Let's see. Okay, guys, I use Cite.ai. It's an AI tool that scours all of the publications and just makes it really easy to do quick research. So let's see. And I'll phrase it in a way that makes sure that we are being neutral here. Let's learn. K-Blitz says that I am wrong because, let's see. ASD. Do children with ASD have far lower levels of GABA. The chat sheet's jumping. I can't. Let's see. Let me find it again. What was the other claim here? Let's look it up. I want to see the science. I want to see the science and say what supplements are recommended by default for all kids with autism, because that was my claim. Let's see. GABA and glutathione. Come up and talk. Okay, Blitz, can you come up? Well, yeah, let's look at some. All right, here's a summary of the data. Let's learn, you guys. Okay, the first question, do children with ASD have far lower GABA, G-A-B-A? The evidence does not support a universal far lower GABA level in all ASD children. Rather, broader dysregulation of GABAergic signaling is reported with regional and developmental specificity. Then the second is the glutathione. Sorry, my summary jumped. There is consistent evidence across multiple studies and populations of lower GSH and a more oxidized redox state. Does this imply supplement should be recommended by default, not as a universal default? There is no supplement recommendation as a result of this. Did you say you're the president of an organization of neuroscience? Who are you? I want to know. Like, I really want some perspective here, because I'm looking at the science, and I think it can be really dangerous to just be saying that there's supplements that we need to be recommending here. I'm not saying supplements are never needed, but like I got some studies here I can send your way if you're wondering. I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't even fully understand what GABA and glutathione is. Like, I mean, I'm okay to learn. That's what we're here for, right? To learn. But does this imply supplements should be recommended by default? No, it does not. There is no universal supplements needed as a result of this finding. I'm not using ChatGPT, K-Blitz. ChatGPT is a yes man. Did you know that? ChatGPT is a yes man. Did you know that? Here's something you guys don't know about me, and you guys can think what you want about this. I live in Utah. I'm a Mormon. If I go on ChatGPT and ask for all the evidence that my church is the true church, do you know that it's going to give me a list of evidence? And it's going to do the same thing for the next person that has their evidence. Like, ChatGPT is pretty good at summarizing data, but it's a yes man. And so I use Cite.ai, which is powered by AI like ChatGPT, but it reviews critically the vast body of research and evidence. So that's my recommendation to, ChatGPT is definitely a yes man. So I use Cite.ai. I find it to be a lot more like not a yes man. I put things in there like even this. It didn't just tell me it didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. I was wrong that glutathione, there is a correlation between GSH and I don't even know what that means, but it just doesn't mean that there's a standard or a universal recommendation of supplement that is needed. So I'll put in what I use. I use Cite.ai. I use it enough that I pay for it. And so you guys don't have to, but I really like it. It creates a very easy way to analyze various pieces of data and learn, you know? I mean, I'm okay. Here, ChatGPT is you can use ChatGPT, but it's a search engine. It's not like saying Wikipedia. It's like saying Google, that I Googled it. Google's not a source. ChatGPT isn't a source. But ChatGPT can absolutely help you find a source. And so, barely AI, is that the name of an AI, or you're saying you barely use it? Okay. No, cablets. I'm really not trying to be harsh here, but it does real damage to tell families and parents of kids with autism that by default they need supplements. It puts this pressure in us. And I don't know if you're an autism parent, okay? I don't know that. But all of this misinformation, it puts unending pressure that we are never doing enough for our children, when that is literally all that we do. All we do is think about our kids. All that we do is sit with our children while they can't sleep at night because they have a cold. I mean, our kids with autism, we are supporting 24/7, and we are bombarded nonstop with the amount of information of what else we need to pay for and what more time and effort we need to give up for our autistic kids. And so I push back. I push back to make sure that we are protecting our time, we are protecting our money, our resources. Yeah, and she says she's driven over 1,000 miles in the past 5 days because of a cold. The last thing you need to be telling Ange is the list of supplements that she needs to go spend $100 a month on. Okay? That's not what she needs, especially when the evidence is not clear that it's recommending it. Now, if you meet with your doctor and they do blood exams and they're worried, they have concerns about your child and they need to put them on various vitamins or supplements or medications, absolutely. Casey, I need to talk about this more. What about them saying pregnant woman who took Tylenol is linked to autism? Guys, this one's a little bit more nuanced. There was a study published by Harvard that showed a connection between Tylenol during pregnancy and autism. Now, there were confounding variables that study did not rule out. And so a larger meta-analysis was published since then, analyzing far more people, and it factored out confounding variables, had something to do with siblings. I need to research it a little bit more. But it totally discredited that Harvard study as a correlational, an interesting correlation, but not something meaningful that can be replicated when factoring out different variables. So the condensed version of that is no, there is not good evidence that Tylenol is correlated with autism. Lola Lover, come up if you want to. That's a good point. In Indonesia, there was a high number of kids got autism. One of them is my nephew. He got a vaccine. I'd love to hear it. So, Lola, your nephew has autism, huh?
Yes. So at that moment, I'm come from Indonesia,
Okay.
and then at that moment, years ago, I don't know, maybe like 14 years ago, around those time, and there's a lot of kids. The autism numbers is jumping very high, and
Yeah.
one of them is my nephew.
Yeah.
And my brother went to professor, like 3 professor for the kids, like the doctor professor.
Yeah.
And then all of them just asked, did you get this type of vaccine at that moment? And then he said yes. All of
The
those professors
professor asked
said
that? Why would the professor ask
yes.
that? There's no link between vaccines and autism.
Because
Why did the professor say that?
99%, there's a lot of parents come to the professor at those moments, and all of them get the same vaccine. And because of that, all the professor just asked those 3, like the smarter professor in Surabaya at that moment, on my city. All of them just asked, did you get the shot? And then he said yes. And he said, okay, 99% it's you get autism.
Well, you know what's
And
even more
then
crazy? You know what's more crazy? 100% of kids with autism drink water. Did you know that?
I know, but
Crazy, huh?
after
Do you
that,
think maybe some water is causing autism?
I understand, Kilan.
Yeah.
After that, in 2 years, the vaccine is pulled out from Indonesia. It's banned.
Oh, wow. What vaccine is it?
Yeah.
What vaccine is it?
That one, I don't remember. but it happened.
Let's
I
learn about
remember
it.
it.
Let's learn.
It's
I want to
exactly
learn.
what happened.
Let's do this. Indonesia, you say?
Yeah.
I want to learn about it.
It's around now. My nephew is around, I think, 14 or 15 years old around. And at that moment, maybe he was 2 years got the shot. It's we discovered it because actually before taking the shot, he already started to
So
talk.
has since they got rid of it, they pulled that vaccine. Has autism gone down in Indonesia, or has it continued to go up?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
If it
But we
continued to
just
go
know
up
because
since
of
then,
that
do you think it was
vaccine.
the vaccine?
It's not because I think it's about the vaccine. It's about all the professors said the same things.
Yeah, but
They have like, of course, the doctors take like, you will see the pattern if every kids that comes for that certain moment
yeah.
got autism took the same vaccine, and then after that the vaccine banned from Indonesia. There is, I think it's 3 types of vaccine. They must took it, and what makes my brother curious is because before his son start talking, but after took the vaccine, the kids is the son is not stop speaking and cannot say a word anymore. And then he was like, why he's not speaking? So he went to doctors, and then all the doctors said so.
Okay, in
And then turns out
Indonesia,
there's a lot of people.
okay, in Indonesia, this wasn't a vaccine that was pulled because of autism risk. There was a scandal 10 years ago in Indonesia that they were selling fake vaccines, that criminal networks were selling saline or IV fluid as vaccinations, but it had nothing to do with autism. Now let's look at autism rates. Can we look at autism rates in Indonesia? Because what you're claiming, here's your claim. You are saying there was a vaccination that everyone was getting in Indonesia. Autism rates were going way up, and then they pulled that vaccination. They don't do it anymore. And so if that were the case, that this was causing widespread autism, and now it's pulled, that means that autism rates should be like non-existent or at least have gone down, right?
Okay.
Should we look at that?
I won't say it should be taken for everyone because it's the paid one. It's not the free one. So my brother needs to pay. Like we don't go to the
yeah,
government.
but there was something causing autism. You were saying everyone was getting autism. Everyone
Yes.
that had that
No.
was getting autism.
I don't say everyone's
now
getting
that's not
autism.
available. So autism rates should be down,
Yes.
right? Let's look. Autism
Kaylan,
rates in
first,
Indonesia. Autism
I don't
rates
say
in
that everyone have to
Indonesia.
get the vaccine.
They saved Indonesia by pulling that vaccination, you guys. Let's see.
Kaylan,
Yeah.
I think you should listen to me first.
Okay. Let's
Okay,
listen.
listen.
Yeah.
I don't say that everyone should get the shot
Okay.
because it's commercial shot. I think because we don't go to the government, we go to the private doctor. How to say that in how English is not my first
You're
language.
doing amazing,
but
by the way. Like
if
you,
we don't,
you really
we don't
are
go
doing
to
great.
the
Like I'm not joking at all. Like I speak Spanish, and I would be absolutely terrified to speak Spanish in front of a group of people. So thank you for being willing to come up and talk. This is great.
Yeah, I'll just try to explain it to you in English that I know. It's like you know, if you go to what is that called, hospital, there is a government hospital that is cheap and you get free stuff, right? So every kids can have to get the shot. But if you go to the private sector, like the private hospital, it's more expensive, and there is some shot that you get, maybe it's the same type, but you need to pay. I don't know how to explain. But we don't go to the government side, so it's not like the free stuff that every single kids have to have it. So I don't know if it's as like you can get some more, not to get some more. I mean, how to say that? Like
Here's
this. You can have like vitamin A, B, C, D, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like it's you have to have it, but maybe you can have a vitamin K or vitamin Z.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it, but you can get some more if you want to.
Yeah.
So I don't know
You're.
if it's
I
the
hear
one
you.
that you have to take
Okay, let me
or
describe what you're saying to make sure I understand right. You're saying that this vaccine that was pulled that was causing autism was potentially an optional one that not a lot of people were getting.
yeah,
But you have not been
maybe
able to
that
say
one
what it was.
optional.
I have
Yeah,
researched
I'm
and I
not
have
sure what
found
it was.
no evidence of a vaccination pulled. However, 10 years ago in Indonesia, there was a scandal where there were fake vaccines being sold that were full of saline, and that was a problem. However, like this thought that there was a vaccination, we solved it by cutting it, then why do we have double the amount of people with autism today than we did 10 years ago?
I don't know about. Wait, I don't say all the cause of the autism is because of the vaccine, but
Okay.
it happened. Some kids in Indonesia, like if it's not so many, the doctor won't pull out a pattern.
Yeah.
The
But
pattern
shouldn't that
get
have still
read
gone down though?
by
Like, right, if most people were choosing it or a lot of people were, your nephew even did, right? All these people were,
yeah
and now they're not doing it, but autism has doubled since then. So obviously it didn't
yeah, but
address the
it can
problem.
no. I mean,
Okay.
it's two different things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
The first thing is the fact that the autism number is double, right?
Yeah. In
It's
Indonesia, it's
different
double. Yeah.
than the fact that there is a vaccine that causes an autism.
Yeah. I'll agree with
Because you
that.
write down the vaccine don't cause it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's what I want to counter. I
Yeah.
don't say that
It's the only thing.
it's
It's
not
not the
caused
only
by
thing.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't say that not because of the vaccine that it doubled then,
Yeah.
but I just say that there is a vaccine that causes the autism and it grows for 2 years
Okay.
moment I think, and then
Well,
after that get
I
banned from Indonesia
I just
because
wanna
then after that
end this by telling you that like you have not been able to say what that vaccine is. You haven't even been able to say the name
yeah
of
I
what
need
vaccine it
to
is.
ask my brother
And
about
I
it
looked it up
because
and there was none that were pulled 10 years ago except for this scandal. I'm not even finding the thing that you're claiming to be true. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on, but I really appreciate you for coming up. Thank you so much.
it's okay, Kaylan. It's just my last word.
Yeah, of
What you
course.
cannot find in internet, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Because if this cause trouble and get a lot of people get problems, the news might be buried behind that we don't know.
Oh
I'm
no,
just stating you the
that would have
fact
been
that
huge
we
news.
got
People would have
in
gone crazy for
Indonesia.
this.
Of course, but it
Everyone
happened a
wants
lot.
autism to be caused by vaccines. If there was a country that pulled it because there was this very strong correlation that was documented and all the professors knew about it and they pulled it, that would have been global news. This would have been front page news
Kaylan,
in the United States.
you don't know the Indonesian got a riot and even the government tried to bury it behind. That's so funny. I mean, no, I'm not laughing at you, but in every country, the culture is different. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened if it's going global, the vaccine, I mean. But in Indonesia, it happened.
But the US
And
reports
some
on the
news
news
in
that
Indonesia
happens in
will be buried
Indonesia.
behind.
We live in
Either
a
you're gonna
digital
believe it or
world.
not, I'm just sharing to some parents that listen to me
Yeah.
right now. Maybe you want to check about the vaccine because it happened to my nephew. Either it goes to the news, buried it behind or not. Is it going to the global or not? Is it a mistake or not? The fact is the vaccine caused the autism. So
Yeah.
either you're gonna believe it or not. Is it logically or
No,
not? It happened.
it's not
Okay.
a do you believe it or
Maybe
not?
that's
It's a
just.
there is zero evidence of it. Like that
Oh
that's
well,
you
yeah,
haven't
as
been
I
able to
said,
present a single piece of evidence. You just said
Kailan.
here's why we think and we see it. Do you have a kid with autism? You have a nephew with autism, right? Did he regress? Was he developing
What is
normally and then
regress?
his development go backwards? Like he was talking and then he
Yes.
stopped talking. Yeah, that is devastating. That is devastating. That happened to my daughter. Okay. It is devastating. And our brains want to find an answer. We will do anything to find an answer. And what we say is we got
Kailan, the
vaccinated
one that
and
giving
then
the answer
hold
is
on,
the
hey,
professor doctor.
hold on a second.
It's not
I
us.
let you talk so much. Come on now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, my goodness. We I don't even know where I was going with it. It's fine. It's fine. But I just am baffled that there's no evidence. And like, I have seen the regression. Okay. Our brains want to find an answer. Our brains really want to find an answer. But we can't just jump and say, oh, I got vaccinated and then my child regressed. Well, you also drank water and then your child regressed. You also took a bath and then your child regressed. You also watched TV and then your child regressed. Why are you pinpointing on the vaccinations? Why are we
Because the
pinpointing on the vaccinations?
professor said so, Kaylan.
Because the professor said so. There's no data. There's no data. What do you mean because the
There's
professor
the
said so?
doctors.
You can't just
The
listen to some
doctors,
random
it's not just
professor.
one doctors. It's not just one doctors, okay? And every time you go on that moment, all of them asking the same thing. And then they said everyone that come to us on the kids that get the vaccinated
Yeah, there's a
within
lot of
those
people
moments.
that you're right. There are a lot of people. All that you have said today is there are a lot of people that think
Okay.
vaccines cause autism. That's all you have said. You have provided zero evidence. All you have said today is a lot of people think vaccines cause autism. I agree with you. I agree that a lot of people think vaccines cause autism. But when you break it down and you research millions of people in these peer-reviewed studies, there is zero correlation. There's not even a correlation. And so, yes, I
It's
agree
okay.
with you.
I
People
already
believe
told you
that
about
vaccines
the
cause autism,
info,
but people are
and
wrong.
I think that's just my part.
Yeah.
Okay. Either like if anyone get this information can be a good insight for them to maybe put more awareness
Why
about
would
it.
this be helpful?
Good for you.
Why would it be helpful to tell
Yeah.
people believe
If
vaccines
it's
cause autism? People know this.
oh
You have
not
provided
all
no
the
evidence.
vaccine, but I already told you.
Okay.
About the evidence, I already told you
No,
also.
you said lots
The
of people
riot,
said
it
that
happens
vaccine.
nationally.
Yeah, you said lots of
Yet,
people say vaccines
yet
cause
the fact
autism.
is
That's not
already be
evidence.
gone by now. There is no evidence about the riot. The riot is heavier than autism
All right.
fact, you know.
We're going
Even
in
the
circles.
riot get
I'm going to go
buried.
ahead and move on. Thank you so much for your time. You
Yeah.
guys, I don't know if I'm cut out for this stuff. I get too emotional here. I'm an emotional man. All right, you guys. How we doing tonight, you guys? How we doing? It's 10:30. It's 10:30. I've been on for an hour. We know what causes autism. That's what gets me, you guys. We know what causes autism. It's not a big mystery. It's not a big mystery, you guys. All right, let's keep chatting. Theo, how you doing?
Hey there.
How are you?
Am I coming through?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. English is not my native, so I'm just gonna ask for your understanding.
You're the best. You know what? I love people that come up here and they speak English when it's not their first language. Like, my goodness. I lived in Mexico for a couple years, and I'm terrified to speak it in front of people. So props to you, man. Thanks for coming up.
I appreciate it. So I don't want to make this some kind of confrontation. I think when we try to make progress towards the truth, it's something that we have to work together for.
Yeah.
So I would appreciate it if it could be like a back and forth, because obviously you're a doctor, right?
Nope, not a doctor. I'm a board certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I'm the CEO of a company that provides services to people with autism.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So obviously, actually, you may be even more knowledgeable about this particular issue. Okay. So the question on my mind, I don't see this as a sort of blanket issue, like where either vaccines cause autism or they don't. My question is this: are vaccines, or are any vaccines, harmful? And more to the point, exactly what do we have to do in order to ensure that vaccines are safe from all side effects?
Yeah.
And do we always do that? And the answer in my mind is that no, we don't always do that, because pharmaceutical companies have an incentive to roll out products, and sometimes they don't do their due diligence, and sometimes they even hide data that is damaging to their products and their bottom line. That is my impression. So
Yeah.
it does seem that sometimes they do cause negative side effects, and not only in regards to like someone's mental capacity. I actually don't know about that,
Yeah.
but perhaps the things that we can pinpoint more accurately in regards to their bodily functions, like their internal organs or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you
Let
think
me,
about that?
yeah. I mean, you bring up good points there. I mean, you look at the side effect potential of vaccines, and there's a long list on there. I mean, autism's not found on that list, and
Mm-hmm.
those risks are rare. I got to be honest with you, as I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert on the safety of vaccines. I mean, I know there are very rare side effects. I also have good friends of mine that are medical doctors who have done all the research on the side effects, and they still vaccinate their kids. I mean, I read a statistic. It's something like 99% of medical doctors vaccinate their own children, and they're the most researched
Mm-hmm.
on it. And so I mostly am talking about autism. And so I don't know if you have any thoughts about like vaccines and autism, or are your thoughts mostly
Yes,
just about vaccines in general and safety?
I mean that's. I think it's both.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm not sure that I have a definitive stance on whether they vaccines cause autism specifically.
Yeah.
What I would say is that I'm a little bit hesitant, reluctant, suspicious in general. But I think in regards to vaccines that have been out for a very long time, that we vaccinate children with at birth and then in adolescence, um, I think those are all right,
Yeah.
because I mean they have been so extensively studied that we have a lot of room to say, what the data is, what they cause or what they may not cause.
Yeah.
So I think those are generally safe.
Are you okay if I break down for you some of what we do know about the causes of autism, and see if I
Sure.
can persuade you to one side? Because you seem like a really reasonable guy. Um, so this idea that we don't know what causes autism is kind of not true. Like we have a lot of knowledge about autism. One of the things that we do know about autism is that it is about 80 to 90% genetic. And we know that there's a really simple study that shows this. And what they do is they take identical twins. And if you have identical twins, do you know how much DNA identical twins share off the top of your head?
Isn't it all of it?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, they have identical DNA. And so if one identical twin has autism, do you know how often that other identical twin also has autism?
100%?
80 to 90% of the time. And so it's not 100%, but it is 80
Hmm.
to 90%. Whereas siblings who share about 50% of their DNA only have about 20% of the time they both have autism if one has it. And so that's some interesting data. And what the experts conclude, doing all the analyses that I don't fully understand, is that genetics account for about 80 to 90% of autism. And then from
Hmm.
there, what they look at are additional environmental risk factors. And they've identified a lot. And so some of them that they've identified are like pollutants. So specifically, emissions that come out of vehicles is highly correlated. When a mother who is pregnant is open to a lot of pollutants, they are at higher risk of autism. Their child is. If a baby is born prematurely, or if there's a traumatic birth where they don't have enough oxygen, that can be correlated with autism. If they're exposed to wildfire smoke in large doses, in large amounts, that can be associated with autism. And there's several others that are associated with autism, but it all happens when the baby is still in, when the mother is still pregnant, or during
Hmm.
delivery. And so there are zero risk factors that have been identified that are like later on, like a year or two after a child is born. And so anyway, I have a full, like, check my bio. I have some references there that go through it. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean that
Did I
makes
convince you?
complete sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I think that makes complete sense, but I am not entirely sure that my fears are addressed, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like potentially, not necessarily, but potentially you're explaining some of the causes of autism, but that doesn't preclude there being more causes.
Yeah,
Does that make
that's
sense?
true. There's a lot of other causes that we're going to find, a lot of other risk factors that are going to be found. I mean, that wildfire one, that was just a few weeks ago that kind of a major study was published on it. So there's going to be more. Absolutely. But isn't it
So
odd that we haven't
is
found any that are risk factors for after a child is like, a week old?
yeah, I'm very interested in that. So is it entirely? 'Cause, I mean, that doesn't quite make sense. Suppose, for example, that a child suffers some kind of brain trauma
Yeah.
or something, like they're 2 or 3 years old. Wouldn't it be possible for them to develop autism at that point?
So autism is a very specific diagnosis. Autism has to be diagnosed with autism, the disability can't be explained through another mechanism. And so what you're describing is an acquired brain injury, an ABI, which can be caused due to trauma, like a traumatic brain injury of hitting your head. It can also be caused due to like having, blood clots and things like that. Or other damage to the brain. And yeah, I mean, I've worked with a lot of people with acquired brain injuries. It doesn't cause autism because that I mean, if there would probably be some similarities and some shared characteristics, but the person doing the diagnosis would look at it and be like, oh, these behaviors, this pattern, this diagnosis is clear that it's stemming from this acquired brain injury. So they don't lump autism on top of that.
Okay, I love that. That's so helpful.
Yeah.
So my question then becomes, and I hope this makes sense. So what if this just means that we're not quite sure how the damage came to be in pregnancy? And so in one case we have the brain injury that we can identify, but we don't really know what exactly goes on when a woman is pregnant that causes for the child to have autism. But in both cases, it seems to me like something has gone on. It's just in the former case, we may not necessarily know what exactly has happened. But moreover,
to clarify though, it's not brain damage when someone has autism. It's just how the brain was formed, and so they can do brain scans if someone has a brain injury and identify where that brain injury occurred and how that looks. Right. You can, I mean, if the brain injury occurs in one part of the brain, if it occurs in the occipital lobe, that eyesight is going to be impaired and impacted, right? And so autism, it's nothing like that. There's no part of the brain that's correlated with it. However, one of the leading theories is this idea about pruning. Have you heard about pruning before?
No.
Okay, so when a baby's born, they're born with these synaptic connections that when, they feel, they see light, that's a connection in their brain firing. And, when you put clothes on them, they can feel their clothes. All the sensory input going in, their brain is firing those synaptic connections. Now, across time, like right now, are you thinking about what your pants feel like on your legs?
Sure.
You're not thinking about that. Like you weren't thinking about that till I said it, right? I said it and then you started thinking about it.
Yeah, but I
our
can sense
brain
them being
filters
on,
it out.
I guess.
One of the things that they have been able to determine with autism is the autistic brain is not able to typically prune as effectively as a neurotypical person. And so those synaptic connections are all firing at the same time. And so the world is so loud and, their brain isn't able to just focus on the single most important thing. And so
sensations are overwhelming, you may say.
Exactly. And so that's not like a part of the brain being damaged. It's just their brain is operating in a totally different way than a neurotypical person.
Right. Okay. So sure, and that's helpful. The thing is, so the sort of overarching idea that I think this goes back to is, I have seen a lot of confusion regarding diagnoses from psychiatrists and behavioral, experts like yourself.
Yeah.
So, and this is my problem with it, is like, you don't really quite know what autism is. There's just sort of, we have what do I mean by that? I mean something very specific. I mean that you can have two children, um, or there's like a whole array of symptoms
Yeah.
that we just sort of look at, and then we give a diagnosis. But it also sounds like it could be ADHD, and it also sounds like it could be something else,
A
and
lot of
it doesn't
overlap.
feel like there's. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree with you. There's
Eh,
no test that you can take, and you're never going to be able to, because like we found genes that are correlated with autism. There's hundreds of them, but they all impact just how the brain was developed. That you can't do a test. There's no test that you can determine if you have autism, and we're never going to be able to find that because it's not a single condition. It's a number of genes that impact how your brain operates and thinks. And I even think the autism diagnosis could change, like what the criteria is. They're talking about separating it out a little bit more and adding a diagnosis for profound autism. That if you're over the age of 8 and still don't have a meaningful method of communication, that you'd receive the diagnosis of profound autism. About 13 years ago, autism only was profound autism, and Asperger's was what is now called level 1 autism. And so you are spot on. I mean, you got a good head on your shoulders. You are thinking about this the right way. That there is confusion in what the actual diagnosis is. That's why we're never going to find a single cause. All we can do is find all the environmental risk factors. And what I know for sure is that vaccines is not one of them. I mean, vaccines, you can argue other damage that can happen. The risks are very low, from my understanding and research. But autism, they have studied millions and millions of kids. And for those that just reject that research, what their claim entails is that tens of thousands of people, scientists, and people publishing research, everyone involved across decades of research, are all in on this huge conspiracy to hide that vaccines cause autism, because so many studies have demonstrated that it doesn't. And so I don't think that's you. I think you just haven't looked at that research, because I think you're level-headed enough to realize oh yeah, if there's tons of research and there's never been a single even correlation of vaccines and autism published in any of these studies, I mean, you can even go out and do your own study if you're so convinced. And I know you're not, but if someone is convinced that vaccines cause autism, they can go to an institution, say, I want to do this study. They can meet with their institutional review board and set up this study. They can conduct their own study and get it peer reviewed. And so people saying that it's just biased people doing the research, go do it then. You can do it. If you are the one person that's not biased that can solve this, go do it. But everyone has done it. Everyone thinks that vaccines and autism, and across all these studies, it vaccines and autism, and across all these studies, it never has. And so it's just one of those things that it just keeps persisting. And the real damage it does is a lot of these, 150 people, 160 people that are in this live are autism parents. And if you're an autism parent and you're told that vaccines cause autism, or Tylenol cause autism, or the way you parent causes autism, I mean, it's pushing blame onto the parents and typically the moms. And that is real trauma for the moms. There's moms out there that live their whole life feeling like they did this to their child, instead of just it's their genetic makeup. 90% of this is their genetic makeup. And so that's why I'm passionate about this, man. But I don't know. Any last thoughts that you have?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, if I can just say, the way that I think about it is I don't try to think about the label, or like you said before, it was very helpful what you said.
Yeah.
I try to think of it this way. I look at the behavior. So people with autism they express some symptoms, like they have some behavioral difficulties, and they have sometimes difficulty speaking or learning how to speak and read and write, and some things like that. So I prefer to look at that, and so it doesn't make sense to me to separate brain injuries from autism, because they cause the same things. They cause the same symptoms.
They don't cause the same things. They don't look identical. There can be overlap. If part of your brain gets damaged and it makes so you can't communicate well, sometimes people with autism can't communicate well. There can be overlap, but it's very different. I mean, if you've worked with someone with acquired brain injury, you can tell that it's with acquired brain injury, there's not you can learn and you can improve, but it's a lot slower. Kids with autism especially, given the right therapies, I mean, their progress, their growth explodes. I mean, we're talking It's something between 95 and 99% of nonverbal kids with autism that start therapy before the age of 3 go on to be fully conversational. And so like it's one of those things that autism is something that your brain is working differently, but it's not an intellectual disability. People with autism aren't necessarily going to have a low IQ. Their brain is working differently. Acquired brain injury quite often is very different, that you're going to have physical disabilities with it. You're going to have motor disabilities that aren't common with autism. It's a totally different diagnosis, but I understand the frustration with it being overlapped. I do have to go, my friend. Thank you for being here. I appreciate
I appreciate you clarifying so many things, and thank you for being so down to talk and to answer all of these questions. And
yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Of course, you're a good man. Thank you for coming up. You guys, this is so fun. Man, that was a lot more fun than the first one to me. I don't like getting so riled up, and man, that was kind of fun. What did you guys think of this? This was kind of a trial run. For those of you that follow me, how do you guys feel like this went? Was this kind of a fun thing? If I'm feeling feisty at night, should I come on here and do some discussions like this? Fun. I don't know. I kind of liked it. You hated this, Amy. Was it because you couldn't come up? Amy, do I need to bring you up for some of this? Come up, Amy. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear your honest thoughts, Amy, if you will. I trust you. I want to hear what you thought. I don't know. Lexi, if you want to come up too, I want to hear your thoughts.
It wasn't at all because I couldn't come up. It was just the insanity of hopping up in a public forum and saying that vaccines cause autism, but you can't name the vaccine. You don't know any of the information. You have zero facts. You're speaking literally from nowhere. Like it's astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing. And it never ceases to blow my mind how many people are set in their ways and don't want to hear anything else. Like, all of these people sitting in chat saying, oh, there's no proof that it doesn't cause it. Well, there is. There's multiple studies, many studies that have proven that they do not cause autism. Vaccines are not the problem here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Amy. Yeah, I appreciate that. So I agree. Some of that was stressful. I didn't like how upset I had to get in some of that conversation, but
I just think that some of it, I don't know. You have to toe the line doing debate stuff about this because it does do like actual damage to some of us in our mental space. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us, like you said, we already have so much on our plates, and it's just to add this on top of it and have people trying to tell you that vaccinating your children was where you went wrong is crazy. Like, if anybody does not understand, regression happens. It doesn't matter if they're 2 years old, 3 months old, 6 months old, 12 years old, you can have regressions. Yeah. Like it's not, you can't sit here and say, oh, I got a vaccine and then all of a sudden my kids stop talking. There's no proof. There's no correlation there. Regression happens no matter when, and you can't stop it.
Think of a mom, though. Let's say there's a mom coming in here that just got a child's diagnosis, and she is not opinionated one way or the other. And she steps into this live and hears this conversation. Do you feel like she walks away thinking vaccines cause autism and she should blame herself? Or does she walk away from this kind of discussion to feel validated that she had nothing to do with it? What do you think?
I mean, I think in general, it can cause more confusion than it does benefits, because you've got people who are in here acting like they were an actual part of these, trials, that they know 100% straight up and down that this XYZ is what causes autism. Yeah. And then you've got actual medical professionals, which we do have in the chat. There is a medical doctor in here. There are therapists in here. There are behavioral therapists in here. Yeah, all of them are sitting here with the actual facts, and you have all of these other people drowning them out with this conspiracy theory nonsense, and it's insane.
But it has to be
it's
addressed.
Actually insane.
Maybe it's wrong of me to take that on me, but like, what more can we do? How do we this is having a real impact on our society. Like, they literally changed the vaccination schedule because of this. Like, Trump literally said, like, we don't have evidence that vaccines cause autism, but because of the amount of input we hear, we are going to change the schedule of vaccination. So people are getting this information, And
Well,
like,
okay, so
it
like
doesn't
here's
mean it
an
has to be my
example. Like,
platform that talks about it. I mean, I enjoyed some of it. I'm going to be thinking about how to do this, but I love people's feedback on it. Lexi, I haven't heard from you yet. What do you think?
It was definitely interesting. I think if you're gonna start doing like these types of debates, we just need to be a little bit more careful about the information that we put out there. Obviously, if you're gonna do like a debate, we don't want to put out our um like our chats and stuff like that because it's not something that we want those kind of people in that particular
That's true. We
space.
don't want them. We don't want them in
So
the
yeah,
different
that
group.
was hella my B. I didn't think about that, and I put it out there for like the moms that we do want in there, and then I realized that there was a bunch of people we probably did not want in our spaces. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys are not like-minded, if you guys feel like you want to hop in our groups to argue, please don't. Please don't even attempt.
please don't.
We don't
Yeah.
want. We won't
We'll
have
kick
it.
them
We
out
will
so
remove
fast.
you.
We'll kick
This
them
is
out
not.
so
It's
fast.
yeah, it's not a debate. We're not here to have you guys in our personal spaces and our support spaces being aggressive about it. You will be removed. So I want to give you that warning now.
Yeah, for sure.
And we are like the most fiercest moderators here. Like all of the moderators for Kylan's group, we're like really fierce.
Oh, we
so
got the best. We
don't
got
think
the
you're
best
gonna
people.
get past us. We're not.
Where's we had Mom of Boys who is here, but she didn't request up. Mom of Boys, I want an update. I need to go to bed pretty soon, but I need an update. Let's see. She said she was. Maybe it didn't let her. Okay, you're there. It's not letting me request. Do you see the request button, Mom of Boys?
She's here. She's here. Oh.
Let's see. Let me.
Oh no.
Let me put up. I can.
What are
change
we
this.
doing, baby? What are we doing? What do you need?
Let's see. I can. What I can do is I can put in a fixed layout, and then it shows up for more people to be able to request if it's not showing up for you. So if you're here, Mama Boys, and you guys, if you were here for the debates, we're done with the debates. We're having real autism parent talk for a minute. If you want to listen, you can, but you have to sit back and be kind, or else you will be muted. This is positive vibes only at this moment, and we just need an update, a very important update from autism parent who is going through probably the worst situation that a parent can go through. And so this is, if you are full of rage, please turn off TikTok. If you're full of love and support, you're in the right place. And let's show our love to Mama Boys here. All right. How you doing? How did it go yesterday?
Hi guys, so much better.
Better? Are you doing better?
I did everything you guys said. I called the police.
Gosh.
They came last night. I made a report. They took pictures. I have a specific officer working on her case for the school.
Oh my God.
I sent an email straight to, I sent an email straight to the district. And I was Mama Bear today, and they poked the bear. And I sent it to the doctor. We got everything documented, picture.
You're cutting out for me. Is she cutting
I
out for you
did it.
guys
Yeah,
as well?
I feel so much better. Oh.
She was cutting out.
Okay, it wasn't just me. All right. Can
no,
you say
no,
that
you can
again?
hear
That
me.
last, you cut out just
So
for
it's
the
all
last
good.
second or two. Last couple sentences.
Where'd you lose me at?
You had the police show up.
So-
You have a dedicated police investigator looking into it. They came, they took pictures. Overall, did they make it seem like they were on your side, that they acknowledged that this is a big deal?
Yes, he told me that he was very sweet and kind. He made me feel very comfortable and let me know that I was doing the right thing.
Oh,
I did also reach out to the school district, and I've been in touch with the school district, and she's kind of trying to sugarcoat things. Oh, we love your son, bring him back. I won't respond to her because I'm looking for a lawyer, so I'm not going to respond anymore.
Can I, before you continue, can I summarize a little bit for people that weren't here yesterday? And you can correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong
sure,
with
of
any of this.
course.
So Mama Boys came on yesterday, letting us know that her son came home from school with a significant bruise. He has autism, and communicated that he, during a meltdown or when he was upset, he spat, and the teacher took his spit and wiped it off onto the student, and came home with significant bruising. And the school reports that nothing happened. And we ensured that she knew that this was not normal. Her son does not bruise easily. This was a significant bruise, and that she needed to report this and have it looked at and investigated. They failed to document any sort of incident that would, or communicate any incident that would explain the bruising or the behaviors of the child. So was that accurate? Anything else I missed there?
I know that was pretty spot on. Yeah. He talked a little bit more today because I did take him to a doctor, and I reached out to his physician last night too. I sent him an email and he got us in pretty quickly this morning. So everything was documented, pictures were taken. I'm just waiting for the next step on Monday on what to do. I'm thinking of looking into a lawyer just because the way that they're kind of trying to brush me off as if it was Josiah's fault.
Yeah.
The finger marks under the arm does not convince me that he was on the floor flopping around like a fish throwing a tantrum. There's no way that happened. So
I am so proud
I'm going
of you.
all the way.
Like, you have no
Thank
idea. Yesterday, you were nervous that you had to do this. You were unsure if this was the right thing, and you left and you took action. I mean, this is what us autism parents do. People are not able to go out there and harm our children without consequences. And you went and you did exactly what you should do, and now you have law enforcement on your side. You're moving forward with finding an attorney. And the big thing here is not only keeping your kids safe, but the kids at that school are in danger, potentially.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. It took a lot of courage. You know, I tell my son every day, go show me how brave you are. And I said, you know what? I need to put my own words into myself here. So that's what I did. I wanted to not only advocate for my son and speak up for any other families going through this that have nonverbal children that can't tell what's going on. So when I reached out to the school district, I told them I want all footage and I want to see what happened. So you can't tell me otherwise. So I told her, she said, well, let's have a talk on Monday. Let's get together. And I told her, there's nothing you're going to convince me to bring him back. You poke the bear and I'm not done. So I'm going to be heard. I'm tired of this.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Insanely proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of you. Fight for that baby boy. You make sure you take names and kick ass, because this is not a game.
No, it's not a game. This is my baby, and God damn it, I will run through fire for him. Yeah. I had a IHSS, our intake today, or in-home intake, and I even spoke with them about it. So I have them on my side also.
Love that.
I am so happy and I'm so proud of you. I think it's amazing that you took our advice. I think it's great that everything is starting to look up for your baby. And definitely, I would definitely look into that lawyer situation, because they can't just brush you off. It's not okay.
No, it's not okay. Yeah. And, you know, honestly, I don't have many friends, you know, right now. You guys are my village, and I sit here and I listen to you guys, and I go to you guys, honestly, for advice, and I listen, and, you know, I trust you guys, and I, you know, love my son so much, and I can't imagine how many children have gone through this, and it's time to speak up. And I'm pissed off now, excuse my language, but you know,
you're allowed to use that kind of language when we're talking
about
this.
I think you should be pissed off. I think you're well within your right to be more than pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
you guys.
I'm so proud of you, and thank you for being part of this village. You being vulnerable and talking about this experience is, I mean, the chances that the 150 people watching are going to go through something similar are pretty high. And I hope that us talking it through and them seeing your experience will give them the confidence to know how to respond if this happens to them. And so
Yes.
your experience is helping, okay? It really is. And we are part of your village. Are you on our Discord or Facebook group?
No, but I would love to be. I mean, I would love any
Please do.
parents, if they would like to follow me, and I'll follow back because, okay, buddy, I would love to do anything I can in my experiences and vice versa.
Yes.
Mama, please, if you send me a message, send me a private message. I can help you get into both Discord and Facebook. I'm moderator in both of them.
Okay.
So I can help you with both of them. I've helped a few people.
Awesome. I love that.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
I just want to address this comment by this football person. Hey, you need to stop. There are not people that have options like that. There are some states that do not have other options for people other than public school. Some people do not have the money to pay to put their kids in specialized centers. You need to stop shaming or I will mute you. Stop now.
What did they say?
And this is the problem. This happened at a specialized education. It didn't happen at a public school.
Yeah.
So this school is only for
It just blocked them
special needs.
already.
What
not
did they
gonna
say?
do that.
Were they saying like just this whole
I
idea of
responded
like,
and I said that some people, they said, don't trust the public school system. I said, some people do not have an option. They said,
Yeah.
it's the US. There's so many options. People in third world countries don't have options.
yeah.
That's not fair. And you cannot do that to parents. Do not do that. You will be removed from the chat.
Here's the thing. You can argue like what's the best placement for a kid with autism. But what you can't do is like use that as justification for like you should be able to send a kid with autism to any public school in the United States and expect that kid not be abused. Like that is not asking too much. Like I know that comment wasn't like full of hate. Like I don't think that person's a bad person. But I do think that like having an attitude of like it's I don't know, like it's public school, what do you expect? Like we expect better. We expect our kids at public schools to be safe. We don't want kids at public schools to be getting beaten. We don't want kids with autism who ride buses to school to be beaten by their bus aide. We expect better. We demand better, and we will have better, no matter what school it is in the United States. But I agree. We should always be looking for the best placement for our kid, and that's the shocking thing about this. Mama Boys went into detail last time of the amount of work and effort she went in to finding this ideal placement for her child. This was like the dream spot for him to be, and then that's why it was so shocking that he was being abused. Or appears to have been abused at this location. So,
Well, and hopefully this isn't something that's happened before. I don't know,
Well,
what
the officer told me
out.
that, the officer said, well, this isn't the first time.
That's
And,
insane.
what?
Yeah, it's a thing.
This isn't the first time at this school, or just in general that he's had
I'm
to do
finding out a lot of things. Someone has died there before. They've restrained them and held their chest down so hard that they were unalived.
At this school?
I've just read. Yes, I yelped the heck out of those people today too. I'm like, they're not gonna like me. I posted pictures of his bruises, and I told everyone, if you want to bring your kid here and you're okay with them getting hurt, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm going all out. I'm almost tempted to call the news and have them out there. I want to be heard. I want everybody to know.
I agree with Ange as well. You need to go to the state medical board. If this is a specialized center, the state medical board has the power to shut them down.
Okay.
What? Oh my
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Isn't that scary? I mean, I live 3 minutes away.
Mama Boys, I think you should call the news because this is the type of story that the news likes to run.
Well, it would like. Here's the thing: is news could share like the story. Here's the thing: is there's a level of investigation that has to happen here. We need to know like, and I'm hoping the police investigation can identify: is this a single bad player? Are there systems that are harmful? It's sounding like it's systems, but like we need an investigation to happen here. And I really am just hoping there's a good investigation. What the news can do, however, is the news can continue to push some of that investigation. Like news is pretty clear at saying where the investigation currently is. Like, yeah. And so,
They could also possibly urge other parents to come forward if they've experienced the same thing at this center.
yeah.
Right. And the crazy thing is, they tell me, oh, they're properly trained. We train him this, to do everything properly. I said, okay, well, why are there bruises? And his teacher aide started around the same time my son did. So she was hired to be his aide before they accepted him.
Wow.
And it was strange because she was the sweetest girl. And then her face this past week, she didn't hug my son goodbye no more. None of that. Her face just looked like she didn't like him anymore. You know what I mean? So I sensed that. And that's when I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. Keep us posted. You can come up anytime, Mama Boys. And I'm curious from your perspective. Look, this, I don't know if you were here for any of my previous discussions. My thought with all this was I feel like a lot of these common misconceptions about autism are harmful to us autism parents. And I want to give a place people feel safe and supported, and make sure that there's a voice of reason in this like world of chaos. But I also don't want to like cause people more trauma. And so I'm curious your thoughts on how the live went today before we brought you up.
I recently I didn't get to hear much. I've been looking off and on all day because I wanted to inform you guys and fill you in because I was really grateful for your help. So I was really looking forward. I knew you would come on a little later when your baby was asleep. So
no worries. I also go live. I go live every day at around noon Eastern time. And so if you're ever around, a lot of people work during that time. And these late ones, I mean, I can do them a little more now because I moved my office into my basement. And to be honest, like this is one of my preferred activities. I love coming live. I love talking to you guys. I love being a voice of advocacy. I love sharing like evidence and discussing things. But I guess how it went before is I had two guests up. We were talking about vaccines not causing autism and how that like puts blame onto families. And the two people that came up were people who believed that vaccines caused autism. So we had a discussion, and I mean, here's the thing: is it's a little bit of a shift of how these lives usually go. So I don't know. I was testing the water. We'll see if I ever do that again. But it's kind of fun to have discussions like that. But I'm only going to do it if it helps parents feel like they have someone that they can feel as their voice. You know what I mean? Like.
Yes.
I want to make sure that there's people out there that you can go on and you can know like, hey, he's going to be reasonable. He is going to say things that are evidence-based and with the interest of autism parents in mind. But it was just a little bit of a variation from bringing people up and talking about challenges that they're having with autism. So I don't know. In the chat, if you were here earlier, I'm curious your thoughts too. Feel free to share it. I listen to it. If you have more thoughts, you can message me. And Mama Boys, keep us posted on this journey that you're on. You should not be on this journey. This should not be something that you are having to do. And the world is gross and the world is harmful. And it's our job to keep our babies safe. And you're doing it. You're doing everything right. And keep us posted how it goes.
Thank you. I have a quick question because I'm very curious. When I was pregnant with my son, they had told me that he was going to have to be born with Down syndrome.
Oh, really?
And yes, they asked me, do you want to abort your child? There's a high probability he has Down syndrome. So obviously the answer was no. And it took me a while, just about, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, it popped up in my head and I said, oh my God, I remember they told me he was going to have Down syndrome. I don't know if they saw that as an extra chromosomes as that, and he was autistic. So I was curious if anyone has ever experience that.
So the test that they do, what is I'm trying to remember what the indicator is that there's a likelihood of Down syndrome. Let me investigate what this is.
I think it's the extra chromosomes they found.
There's also there's a lot of genetic stuff that can mess with things. So like so chromosomes are in the shape of an X. Two of mine are absolutely flipped. And in my family, the women carry that flipped gene. Now, if there was ever a situation where I didn't have it, but my daughter had it, or if I had it and my daughter didn't have it, there was a big chance that my daughter could have been born, I mean, like wheelchair bound disabled, like cannot speak, never stands a chance of like living in a typical way. So I had to have a lot of genetic testing done while I was pregnant. And then once she was born, I mean, we could tell from very, very early age. I mean,
You're
months
cutting
old.
out, Amy.
Oh shoot! I moved too close to my bad spot. But yeah, no, they.
Amy has
they,
a bad.
as
For
soon as
everyone watching, Amy has a bad spot in her house that when she goes, it's guaranteed that that she starts
do.
cutting out.
I just cut out. But yeah, no, as soon as she was about 6 months old, we saw that she was missing milestones. So we knew from that point forward that we were looking at a diagnosis of some kind, but we didn't know what that meant for her. Inevitably, she ended up being diagnosed as level 2. But regardless, there's tons of genetic makeup sequences that can cause pretty serious deficiencies and defects in children.
And I just researched this a little bit, and Amy's absolutely right that like genetics plays a big role. We know it's 80 to 90% caused by genetics. What they're testing for with those genetic markers is the extra copy of chromosome 21, and there's false positives happen quite often, and that false positive does not increase the risk of autism. And so there probably was a genetic factor, but it wasn't that genetic factor.
He's on the phone right now.
There's a ton of Chinese in the microwave.
But all right, you guys, it is past my bedtime. I went crazy today, and I talked way too long, and pretty much did just a second full live. So we are gonna call it a night, and I'll be back up at 10 a.m. tomorrow at noon Eastern time, and be back at it. So. Thank you guys for being here. Anything else from you guys that you want to share before we end tonight?
No, we shall see you tomorrow morning.
All right. See you guys.
See you tomorrow morning.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.